My remote control for my TV. And over here, you probably know this, it is a little button and it says VOL, which stands for volume. That's how loud something is or how soft. The minus makes it lower. That maybe it's too loud and your mom can't hear herself think and she wants you to lower your TV. And then maybe you want to hear something, maybe it's some music going and you really like to hear how loud it is or how good it sounds, so you could press the plus. Plus means greater volume or louder. The minus is softer, okay? Volume. Okay, now we know that too much sound can hurt our ears. If we look on page 201, we see this boy, he's got his ears covered. Why does he have his ears covered? Look what's behind him. This is called a bullhorn. It makes a sound so loud that it's hurting this young man's ears. Okay, so let's look at what it says here. The boy, in fact, he looks scared. Maybe he was quietly talking to someone. You know how it is when somebody passes by and you don't see them and they touch you and you jump. Well, maybe he was having a nice conversation with somebody and all of a sudden right behind him, this other child blows that bullhorn. Okay, so let's read it together. It says, volume. Sound can change. Volume is how loud or soft a sound is. Loud sounds are easy to hear. A shout is a loud sound, but you know, some loud sounds may hurt your ears. Okay, let's turn the page. Okay, let's look at the pictures. What's happening in the first picture? We have first picture up here. We have two little girls. Do you think they're screaming in each other's ears? They're whispering because they don't want anybody else to know what they're talking about. Maybe she's telling a secret. Maybe she's inviting her to a birthday party and says, don't tell anybody. Or maybe she's saying, my mommy's gonna have a baby. I'm gonna have a little brother. Don't tell anybody. She's whispering something. And it looks like it's a happy whisper. Look at the smile on the little girl's face. Soft sounds may be hard to hear if it's too low. And a whisper, of course, is a soft sound. Soft sound will not hurt your ears. Okay, look at the boy tiptoeing by his baby. Oh, I guess it's a sister because the little cradle is in pink. He's tiptoeing because he doesn't want to wake up his little sister. Okay, so what is volume? Volume is how loud or soft a sound is. Okay, now let's look at health and safety because this is very important. You notice the earphones that are on the father and his little girl's ears? It says, God made your ears. We know that. Your ears are important to God. You should take care of your ears. You should keep them clean, but don't stick a pencil in your ear. We had a little boy last year, maybe you remember, but he had stuck something in his ear and he tried to get it out with a pencil, but instead it went further into his ear canal and he had to go to the doctor. In fact, I think he was in your class last year. You probably remember who he was. He's not here anymore, but maybe you can remember that he had that problem sticking something in his ear. I know you know who it is because he's no longer in your class and it happened last year in Miss Kara's class. I remember. Now you should keep your ears clean, but don't stick anything in your ears. Those Q-tips are to clean the outside of your ear, not to poke inside because you might poke it too far in and you could damage your eardrum. okay? We want to clean the wax out, but a doctor should do that if you have real problem with earwax. But otherwise, with a washcloth, you could just clean wherever your finger can go with the washcloth. And you should protect them also from loud sounds. If you go in cold weather or the wind, you should always put something on your ears. Caring for your ears pleases God. Okay, now let's turn to the next page, and we're going to continue with the sounds that we hear. Okay, now let's look at what is a pitch. P-I-T-C-H. Pitch could also mean tar. In fact, the men next door are using pitch or tar to put together the roof on the house. But pitch is also about how high or how low a sound is. Not how loud it is, but how high or how low. And every sound has a pitch. Sometimes the pitch is awful, and we say, you're off key, you're off pitch. And sometimes we could sing on pitch or on key. Now, what animal do you think has a high pitch? Not loud, but high. There's a difference. Okay, what do you think about? Well, I think of a bird that tweet, 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 tweet. Its pitch is high. What makes a loud or low? Usually loud and low come at the same time, but even if it isn't loud, but it's low, well, maybe a lion roaring in this picture has a low pitch. It could also be loud and low. All right? Sometimes thunder has a low pitch. And you know, there are people who have low voices. It's called a baritone. They sing very low. And then sometimes you have the soprano whose pitch is very high. Don't go by me. All right, now, as we look here, a kitten has a high pitch. Not necessarily loud, but high. And the roar of a lion is low. Okay, now let's look at this choir. And these people playing instrument. A musical instrument can make sounds with high pitches and low. A flute can go high and low, and also a violin. And we also have a piano. A piano I have right behind me. It's going to be playing something, and you tell me if it's a high pitch or a low pitch. Now, it might be off, it might be not on pitch, because it's not quite a pure sound, because the piano might have to be tuned, but at least you'll know if it's a high sound or a low sound. Okay, that is what kind of a pitch? A high or a low? It is high! All right, let's see if we can tell what the... Oh, that is not only a low pitch, but it's also a loud sound. Sometimes it goes together. Thank you, Miss Pam. You're a great piano player. Okay, now we're going to do our investigation. So if you can turn in your workbook. You will be doing on your own, you'll be doing pages 199 and 120. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the investigation together, and that is on 201 and 202. Remember, we have a problem, and our problem is to decide how does the thickness of a rubber band, when it's stretched, determine its pitch. Is it going to be high or low? And we have two rubber bands. We have this one, and it's the same thing. So what we're going to do is try to guess, which one do you think will have the higher pitch? The thin rubber band or the thick? That's for you to decide. Okay, so what we're going to do is you could turn the page. The procedure we don't have to worry about. You will just listen to what we do, and then we'll fill in the answer. All right, we're going to take the rubber band. I'm going to stretch it as far as I can. And Miss Pam is going to pluck it. All right. What kind of a sound is it? Is it a high pitch or a low pitch? Let's try the other one. Okay, is this higher pitch than the rubber band, the yellow rubber band, or is it a lower pitch? Okay. All right, the question is, what did you hear when the rubber bands were plucked? The 2 millimeter wide rubber band has what kind of a pitch? What kind was it? Was it a higher or a lower? Okay, the thinner one had a higher sound. Not too much higher, but higher. Okay, the wider rubber band had a lower sound. And that's what we're going to fill in on page 202. The two questions on the bottom. So it all depends. Did you think the thinner rubber band would sound higher or lower? Was that one you were correct? But if you said that the thicker, because it was bigger, would be higher, you were wrong. But we proved which one was correct. So in the meantime, you can do the pages that I just said. Don't do the other page, 199 and 120. And if you want to, we'll do the conclusion tomorrow, which is basically what we did when we answered the question. We have a video that will show you how to make your own musical instrument out of a tissue box or any kind of a cardboard box that you have at home. It doesn't matter if it's a square tissue box or an oblong one, and rubber bands and some pencils to hold the rubber bands together. And you can make your own musical instrument. Miss Pam will download it for you. Okay, and that is today's lessons.